Hi, my name is Guy Hancock, and I'm an instructor of computer technology at Ultimate Medical Academy. I'm here to help you learn more about using computers to be effective and efficient at whatever you're doing. So let's get started. Let's take a look at web browsers, and these are software tools that you use every single day, but there may be some things that you can learn by looking at parts of the browsers and thinking about them in ways you haven't before. So let's just do a little tour of that. So you're looking at my Scoop UMA webpage, similar to the student Scoop webpage. And one of the first things I want to point out, we have tabs up here, so I'm using tabs, and so I can click on those and go to other pages. And so when you have favorites, you can put those in what's called the bookmark bar, which is this bar right here. And it actually extends, you can have a long list of those that there's not room to fit them all in the bar and show them all. But when you're on a website and want to mark it as a favorite, then you can click this star and it just bookmarks. And when you do that, you get a dialog box that asks you where do you want to put your bookmark. So you can put it in the bookmarks bar. You can put it in, it's probably trying to tell me it's already there. You can put it in a folder. You can make a new folder if you want. So those are some options when you mark a website as a favorite. So it's good to have favorites, particularly the bookmarks bar is very quick. You can just click on that and go right straight to something. Or there's a bookmarks, you click on the other bookmarks, and that is a folder that has other bookmarks in it. Or you can view all the bookmarks if you click little dots over here on the end of the address bar. You go down to bookmarks, and you can view all the bookmarks. So these are different ways to get to the sites that you want to visit frequently, or that you might want to go back to and might be concerned you couldn't find that same page again. So I'm using the Chrome web browser, and so there are a lot of different web browsers. The familiar ones might be Chrome and Safari and the Microsoft. It used to be called Internet Explorer. The newer version of that is called Edge, and there are a number of others. Firefox is one. So because I'm in Chrome, there's a little block up here of apps. If I click on that, this is going to show me the Google apps. And so the Docs is comparable to Microsoft Word in some ways. Sheets is comparable to Excel in some ways, and Slides to PowerPoint. So that's what these little things are. But I wanted to point out that on the UMA pages, there's also a little grid, the app launcher up here. If you click on that, you'll see the Office 365 applications. And you may not have all of these in yours, I'm not sure. But you have the OneDrive where you can store files in the cloud, and then you've got the mail program Outlook, you've got Word, PowerPoint, and SharePoint. And I can click on Word and we'll go to that. So what this is doing is running a version of Word in your web browser. And that could be good, but there are some problems with that. And I just wanted to make sure that you know that the web browser version may not have all the tabs that the desktop version has. And on those tabs, some of the commands will not be present in the browser version. So there's some things that you just can't do with the browser version that you can do with the desktop version. And so when you're working in a job, you're going to be using the desktop version most likely. It's a little more powerful. It doesn't require you to be on an internet connection to work with it. And so that is going to be the preference. So these online versions that were designed for the web browsers were meant to make it possible to use a familiar application on your tablet or phone. And they also work on the computer, but again, they lack features. So you want to use the actual desktop version, which you get from UMA. So now we've pointed that out, and I wanted to explore a few more things. When you're in the address bar, you can click in the address bar and you can type parts of an address, and the search engine will be looking for possible matches and try to fill it in for you. So that's a quick way, is just to start typing a part of a name, and that may actually take you where you want to go if you've not been there before. You can also just type in, whatever words you'd like to search for, and you'll get then a list of all the findings, which could go for pages sometimes. Let's look at the utilities menu over here. There's some things about the windows and tabs here. The incognito window is a window where your browsing history is not recorded. It's temporarily recorded while you're browsing in that window, and then it's discarded when you close the window. And the same for any cookies or other things that you were used while you're in that window. So it increases privacy to some degree. It's not perfect. You have history, which shows the recently visited web pages, and you can go back into those just by selecting in history. You have downloads, which is the files you've downloaded through the browser. We already looked at the bookmarks, so you can go to your bookmarks this way if they're not up in the bookmark bar just under the address bar. You have some zoom options, so you can increase the zoom, make it easier to read fine print or see things, details if you'd like. Print, I probably don't need that. There's a find where you can look for something on a website. And then there's some other tools. So you can save a page as an HTML file. You can create a shortcut, which is like an alias. It's a thing that looks like an icon, but when you click on it, it takes you to the particular page that the shortcut is for. Here's an interesting one of clearing your browsing data. And you might do this if you're having trouble with some activity on the website, where you try to submit something that just won't submit. What the web browsers do is they record the history of where you went and what you did, and sometimes that gets in the way of updating a page that you're on. And so this clearing the browsing history data is one way to get that working. Extensions are plugins. These are things that add other features to your web browsing experience. They're not built into the browser, but they add on and extend it. So you can search through. There's a long list of those that do all kinds of different things. And if you find something that is helpful for you, then you can add that to your. These are often free, but sometimes there's charge for those. And then there's a settings, and this settings will take you to a web page. Basically, it displays in the browser itself, and it has all these tools over here that you can go through and change the settings on things. Appearance, the search engine, the default browser, things to do on startup. There's advanced. We got languages and downloads and printing, and accessibility, and all these. So it pays to go through these and just look at them and see what's possible, what you can change, what you can do. So for instance, downloads, there's a location here where downloads go, which is a downloads folder. But if you'd like your files to go somewhere else, you can change that by clicking this button. So a lot of different things that you can adjust to your liking on here. So just want to point out how you get to those, and you won't need to do this very often. But so here's some examples of you're clearing your browsing data, cookies, and other site data. Cookies are a mystery to a lot of people. What those are is mostly just a number. And so the reason for this is that web pages, web browsers were meant to display static pages. But soon after that got going, people wanted to do interactive things. So, for instance, with shopping, if you go on a website to buy something and you search through their products and you click on something and say you want to add that to your shopping cart, what's happening is when you log in, there's a number assigned, that's a cookie. And so that's sent to you. Your computer does this, you're not aware of it. And then each time you go to a new page on that site and you click on anything, that cookie gets included with whatever is sent back to the server. And that's how the server knows that this is the same person that clicked the previous page that you clicked. And so it can keep track of the things you've added to your cart, and it may have your address on file, but it won't know who you are when you're browsing. It won't know which address to connect to. So again, the cookies do that. They were, became a liability. But then the internet agencies and the browser program writers built in some standards and codes. So now, if the cookies don't meet a particular set of standards, they'll be rejected by your browser. So they're not a huge avenue for hackers to break into your computer like they were for a little while. So just wanted to make you aware of that. So I'm in the settings page. I'm just gonna close that and go back to the page that I was on. These settings here are for UMA. So they're in the UMA portion of the page, not up here in the browser portion. When you download a file in Chrome, you will see a little thing in the bottom left corner of the page that indicates you're downloading. And when that file is finished downloading, you can then click on it to open the file. Now, where the file went was probably your downloads folder, if you haven't changed the default that the browser comes with. But you can double or click on that file to open it. So if you download a Word document, for instance, you click on that, and it will open the Word document in Word. If you download a PDF, that may often open in another web page in your browser here. The last thing I want to point out would be the right click. So if you mouse over one of these sites up here, if you right click, you get some options that you might want to use. So instead of clicking on this, just clicking on it, left clicking, which would take me on this tab to a different page, I can right click to see this menu, and then I can left click on open in a new tab. So instead of replacing this page I'm on, it will open a new tab up here. Go to that. You can also do that open in a new window or open an incognito window. You can also copy. So what that does, if I were to copy this, it copies the URL. I'll do that, and I'll show you if I paste it. There's the URL. So that's what happens when you right click and copy. So I use this quite frequently because I'm directing people to go to the Goodwill site or the Grammarly website, and so I'll copy, and then I can paste that into emails or into the course discussion. That's a handy thing. So I think that kind of covers a walkthrough of the browser things, and I hope this was helpful to you, and you maybe found something you hadn't seen before. Well, hi again. Thanks for watching. I hope this was a good review of things that you already knew how to do and that you learned some new things. And happy computing.